Would I be able to get the link sent to me?
Do we have students in person or no?
Sorry?
Do we have students in person in the room?
No.
No one is outside?
Oh,
Okay.
is there? We have one student joining us. Welcome.
Hi,
You can have a
so
seat
where are
if
the
you'd like.
notes? Then, right,
You will see them.
oh,
First
really?
slide doesn't have.
Right, okay,
Or Deb, you're welcome to use your own computer. I think that might be easier.
but I don't have sound
Okay.
connected.
So it's just next slide or wait second.
The slide?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I think we're ready. Hi,
Hi, thank you for joining.
all right, now I can't hear. I can go back there, yeah.
It's ready. You can- Can you guys hear us?
Yep, I can hear.
Okay,
Okay.
wonderful.
So
There you go.
has everybody come into the waiting room, or is everybody on the session now, Chad?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got some people in the waiting room and we're good to go when you guys are.
All right, welcome everyone to How to Manage Debt and Credit. My name is Deb Clinton and I'm a communication specialist with Mo Money. And I'd like to welcome you here. And I'd like to do a land acknowledgement that this session is delivered from my home in Hamilton, Ontario, on land very close to Mohawk College. So I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge that my home and the college are situated on the traditional and unceded territory of the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe nations, with lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement, and is currently home to many Indigenous populations across Turtle Island. It is important for me, oh, sorry. Okay, so there, my next slide. Sorry, okay, good. I'm just learning here. So what is Mo Money? We are part of the financial assistance department. Mo Money is a student money management center focused on two goals. The first is to help students develop critical financial skills. And the second is to provide students with the resources and training to use those skills. So to accomplish these goals, we offer, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just not used to this computer. Oh, okay, which one? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so to accomplish that goals, we offer one-on-one counseling, events and workshops, and financial resources. So how do you connect with Mo Money? You can connect with Mo Money on social media, and our handles are on the screen. You can do the Money Matters module, which is a course on my Canvas, or you can book an appointment, join us for an event, or request a workshop. So the value of attending our workshops include that the session is eligible for a co-curricular record, which is something that shows that you're engaged with the college and the community. There's also chances to win prizes. So, if you attend 4 out of 6 of our webinars, you're eligible for a gift card. And also, if you complete the pre-survey and the post-survey, you're also eligible for your name to go in a draw. Also, we are offering financial advocacy badges, which are something that is also a really good thing to have on your resume. So I have to say, and now I want to welcome Marvin, who's going to walk you through our feature presentation. So then I'm sorry. And you could probably go there.
All right. Okay. How are you? Well, it's going to be interesting to present here virtually for you. So, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marvin Largo. I just graduated from supply chain management here at Mohawk College. And I have the opportunity today to present to you this how to manage debt and credit presentation. So it's a really important subject that we all deal. Me as an international student, well, I had to struggle a lot to save money and manage my personal accounts, my debt and my credit in order to being able to attend more, right? So the Canadian Foundation for Economic Education is pleased to partner with the National Bank of Canada to provide a series of workshops to help post-secondary school students across the country get a better handle on their money. So this is a workshop that's really important for people our age, well, your age, and okay, we will continue. So the CFEE and the National Bank, well, they are trying to support financial education. Also living in a complex financial world, which we are right now with all this COVID thing and the inflation we are having right now all around the world. So now the CFEE partnered with universities and colleges across Canada in order to help us to get this type of workshops in education. So also there's a survey of 1,500 students to identify their priorities and interests, and this is one of the major topics that we need as students. Okay, perfect. So like I said, 53% of the students said that they have challenges paying for school. 64 of them, they said that they want to learn how to deal with financial stress, and 55% of them, they want to build a financial life, and they want to be better at their financial management. So what we are going to talk today is three main topics. One is how to manage your debt. Second one is how to use your credit cards. And third one, and especially for me, is the trickiest one because not everyone knows how to deal with it, but it's the most important one is the credit scores and the reports, right? So let's begin with the first one, and our objectives are on the first topic, which is how to manage your debt. So the first is how credit cards work, pay off your credit card balance monthly, and improve your credit score. That's what we are going to learn in this topic. All right, perfect. So how to manage debt? What do you think when we talk about that? Yeah, exactly. Can anyone else say to me in the chat, what do you guys think about that? So we have some examples here. So we have liability, payment, interest, loan, mortgage. Well, could be bad credit, bad debt, sorry, or good debt, debt spiral, or trade. Those are the words that might come to our minds when we talk about debt, right? So the idea here is that most people don't really get along with or know how to work with debt. It's because not everyone knows what those words means. So I just did a small presentation. Just 1 second here. I'm going to share my screen on my. So I'm going to share something I did. Just a little game, a little game I did, a program, in order to just know a regular situation we can have, right? So everybody can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So it's just a situation we can have. All right. So she's tired of taking the bus. She needs a car. So first situation we have, that doesn't begin with going to the bank. That begins with a necessity. So she needs a car because she's tired of taking the bus. That's it. All right. So she has two options. She can go for the really nice car, expensive but nice, or she can go for the car that's not that nice. It's ugly, but it's cheap. So which one should we choose? Well, it will depend, right? It will depend on everybody and anybody's situation, all right? It depends mostly on how much do you have in your pocket. So of course, let's see if we will choose, we will do the bad choice here. So we will choose the expensive one, and she only has $200 in her pocket. Is that a good decision? No, I don't think so, because she's a student, right? So at least her dad is Bill Gates. But if not, in that case, she chose the expensive part. So now she has another choice. So she's walking on the street and now she sees a guy. I mean, nothing about him, but he is like weird. And here's a bank, right? So who should we talk to? The bank or the guy? Well, let's talk first to the guy. Oh, he's thinking, another victim, right? Hello, I'm Mr. Payday. I offer you to pay me just 1% every day until you can give me back the whole loan. What do you say? Is that a good deal? Is that good? 1% a day? 1%. How much could that be? Do we know? Do we understand how much 1% daily means? I don't know. Let's begin again. All right, she's tired of taking the bus. She needs a car. Let's go for the cheap car. All right, let's go for the one that's $2,500. She still only have $200, right? But let's talk to the bank. So we offer you a 90% annual fixed rate. If you come back with better credit score, we can offer you a 10%. Do we understand what this means? And it's really important to understand what those words mean. So they are offering her 19%. But if she comes back in, let's say, 6 months with a better credit score, she will have a better deal, right? 10%. So which one is better, the 1% guy or the 19% bank today, or 10% in 6 months? Which one is a better decision? What do you guys think? What do you think? The bank, right? So if we do a simple, really simple calculation, just in my mind, I don't need a calculator. 1% daily. So how many days do we have in a year? We have 365 days. So that means we are going to pay every year 365% of interest. And he said, you can pay me the interest, and then you'll see whenever you want, you can pay me the rest. So that means you're not even giving him money to get that loan lower. You're just paying interest, and that's not good for anybody. All right, so let me just share my screen again. One sec. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
It's still doing the black screen thing. Try sharing again.
Just
Like last
give
time.
me 1 sec.
Pause.
Is it pause?
So try resume sharing.
Oh. 1 minute, guys.
I think last time you just stopped sharing and reshared and it worked.
Let me try again.
Yep, that's good.
That's good. All right, perfect. So coming back with that little video game. By the way, if you guys are interested, it's just on a Scratch presentation I did. It's really simple, and if you need the link, I'll leave it in the end of the presentation. So all right. So okay, now that's a situation where that girl, that student doesn't really know, she doesn't really understand what debt is, right? She doesn't really have that education we're going to get today, right? So okay, there are many different types of debt. Yeah. So we have student loans. Those loans are government loans available for students. So it depends on any country, right? On every country. For international students, we don't tend to get those student loans. Those are for Canadians, but we can get loans from our home countries. I'm from Colombia, and I'm sure, and I know that in Colombia we have loans for those students that go to another country. Let's say, I don't know, to the States or here, Canada. You can get loans for that. So those students' loans are, it's normal that the government gives those loans to people, right? So we have another type of loans, which are credit cards. So it's a revolving credit. So a revolving credit, it's like the Mr. Payday I showed you in the little Scratch presentation. So every single day, that is going to increase, right? It's day by day. It's day by day. So it also depends on the bank and on your credits, on your credit score. If you have a really good credit score, maybe you can get the better credit card, but it depends, right? They are dangerous. They are good for beginning because they don't need many things, but you have to be really careful. All right. So we have overdraft protection. It's an optional coverage through your bank to protect your non-sufficient funds. All right. If you're injured, if you cannot work anymore. So those are the types of situations. We can get personal loans. So those are loans from a financial institution taken out in your name and applied against your credit score. So if you have a good credit score, you're going to get the best rates. Mortgages. So these are long-term loan from a financial institution for a mortgage. So these are 25 years or 30 years. So those loans are for getting a house. All right. So, sorry, we have leases. A lease is similar in function to renting, and most often seen in vehicles where you agree to pay principal and interest in order to use those items. Yeah. And the person still owns the car, but at the end you can get it for an amount of money. So those are the leases. And we have home equity loans. So these loans are secure loans that you can get when you did a renovation on your house, right? So you have an old house and you renovated it, and you go to the bank and you ask for a home equity, which will give you more money for that house. So they will borrow you money for that. So we have the first one, and it's called difference between good debt and bad debt. You see?
Welcome to the Wonga Money Academy. In this episode,
Can you hear in the Zoom presentation?
Yep, I
Yes,
can hear it.
yes.
Perfect, sorry.
we look at debt, one of the 4 pillars of financial literacy. Fortunately, it isn't difficult to understand. Debt is simply money you've borrowed and have to pay back later, and most people will have debt at some point in their lives. Think carefully before putting yourself in this position, as the amount of money you pay back is always more than what you borrow. This is because credit providers offer a service that comes with a fee. They work out the fee by adding a percentage of what you borrow to your monthly installments, and it's called interest. There's also a difference between taking on good debt compared to bad debt. Borrowing money to pay for things you don't need counts as bad debt. Expensive clothes, the latest electronics, or pricey holidays, once they're worn out, burnt out, or over, you'll have nothing to show for them. Take buying a brand new car, for example. It will definitely lose its value and perhaps put you in a tough spot as well. What if you lost your job and couldn't keep up with the repayments? You might end up with a loan that's greater than the amount you could sell the car for. That would leave you with no car, plus an outstanding debt to pay. Credit card debt is always bad because the interest rates are a lot higher, usually in the double digits. In many cases, if you can only make the minimum payments, it will take you years to pay it off. Good debt applies to things like taking on a student loan for an education. In the long run, it will help you earn a higher salary, so essentially, you'll be accepting debt to get ahead in life. Taking out a home loan can also be a good debt situation. Once it's paid off, your home will be a big financial asset. The interest rates are also low compared to other credit providers. That's all on debt for now.
All right. So there are some questions that we should always ask to ourselves before taking a loan, you know? So you have to ask a lot of things. You have to ask how much are you able to repay, right? Because that's important. You should always ask for money when you have a job or when you have a way to pay back the money. That's the only situation where you should do that, right? So if you're going to borrow money just for buying the latest MacBook Pro Max XL, so it's if you have the money, if you have a good job, or if you have a business that will pay for that thing in the long term, so then do it. And if you need it, then do it. All right. But if you don't, just simply don't do it. Like in the example we saw in the scratch. So the girl had 2 options: buying an expensive car that she can't afford, or a regular car. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it will get the job done, you know? So that's something you have to ask to yourself. Can I afford the loan on a monthly payment? All right, so do not make financial commitments you cannot afford. You have to do your research. Okay, you have to calculate cost of the loan and the accumulated interest based on payment schedule. Interest rates depend on the type of loan you get, all right? Let's say you get a loan for $10,000, right? With an interest of 5% computed annually. So year 1 interest is $500. And if you add up those interests in the year 2, you will have $1,025. So that means it's compounded. And if you do that exercise in the long term, you will get a lot. Albert Einstein said that compounded interest is one of the most or the strongest force in the universe, because in the long term we will have only with a $10,000 interest of 5%. You will have millions if you add up through years and years and years. You will have millions, even billions. So just be careful with that. So you have also to make sure, is the loan secure? Or so what do we mean by a secure loan? So a secure loan means if you do not repay the loan, the creditor has legal claim to your assets. So they can take your house, your car, right? So it depends also on the contract. So you have to be really careful. If you don't pay back, they will get your stuff. They will get your things, right? Your interest rate on a secure loan is usually lower as the financial institution can take something of value from you. But beware, as you don't want to lose your car or your house to the bank, all right? So how long will it take me to repay the loan? So it depends, right? So if you just do the minimum payments, it will take you forever. That's what the bank wants, because the more time you take, the more money they will get from you. So it's really important. It's really important to make sure that you do the minimum payment plus, let's say, 10, 20, 100, $200, as much as you can, because that will what that will do is just to make that loan go quicker. So we have this is a little trickier, and we have an Excel that will we will show you how this works. Just I'll share my Excel. Just give me a sec. I believe I'll have to stop there. Let me see. Yeah. Just one moment, guys. So this is the fun part of the Zoom meetings. So, okay, so we have here our Excel. Can you see the Excel on the Zoom meeting?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect, all right, thank God. All right, so okay, we have an example of a credit card balance, right? So we have $2,000. The interest rate is 20%, right? Okay, so the minimum payment is 3%, right? It's like $10 a month, right? So if we just pay that amount, we will take the minimum payment, just paying the minimum payment. Look, it doesn't end yet. So 183 months just for paying $2,000. So in the end, you're not going to pay $2,000. You're going to pay $4,000, yeah, $190. So that's a lot of money. If you just do the minimum payment, on how many years? So it will take you 15 years to pay $2,000 if you just do the minimum payment. Okay. So what if we just pay a little bit more each month? If you pay $100 each month, so you're going to be in 2 years free and out of that debt, and you just will have, I mean, you just will pay like around $400 in interest. So that's awesome. I mean, just paying $100 more, so you're saving 13 years of your life. So you have to really think this, and this is part of the compound interest that Einstein used to say the ones that was the strongest force in the universe. Because just by adding up a little amount each month or each period, we will have a huge difference, a gigantic difference between the first example with 15 years and the second one with only 2 years, right? So what if we play a little bit with this? All right. So if, oh, it's not working like, okay. So I just wanted to show you that if you pay only $150 more, $50 more, you will take way less time even. You can take even 1 year. Only if you pay if the difference of $50 between the first example and the second. So I'll come back to the presentation. So can you see on the Zoom meeting?
Yeah.
Good. So another important question that we have to ask is, if I miss a payment, will the interest change? So it depends of the loan, right? If they see that you're not paying back, they might change it, right? So also it will hit your credit score, and that's the worst thing that can happen to you. I mean, I know we're in school, but if they grade us here from 0 to 100% just to get to graduate or to finish a course in life, the most important grade you get outside a school, college, university, or whatever is your credit score. Because without a good credit score, you're not going to be able to get a house, to get a car, to get whatever you really need, right? So it's really important to pay attention and never miss a payment. So if you don't have the money, you need to pay at least the minimum, right? At least the minimum, because that won't hit your credit score, right? You have to be really careful. Does my loan have an insurance? Well, it also depends, but yeah, you can pay for a loan insurance. Most banks offer you a loan. It's a little percentage of your loan, right? If you ask for $1,000, the insurance could be, I don't know, a couple dollars, could be. But if you are asking for $1 million, well, you are going to pay a way higher rate on that insurance. It depends. If you really need it, if you really think that something can happen in your life, you should always take it. If not, well, it's on your risk. But you have to be aware that these type of insurances exist, right? Is what, sorry? So if you go to a bank and you're asking for $10,000, right? They will offer you to do the minimum payments, right? But they also will say, hey, we have an insurance for you. So if something happens to you, you just pay us $9, $10 on every single month. Plus your minimum payment, right? So if something happens to you, so we will take care of we will take your loan. Depends. It depends, because you have to prove that you're not able to receive money, that you are not able to work. Oh, if it's real, I mean, if the situation is real, it's really easy to prove, because if you were fired from your job, well, you just have to show that you don't have a job anymore. So yeah, It depends, but most people try to lie to insurances companies. It's not easy. They are really smart because, of course, they have to. They really have to investigate everything. And yeah, yeah. But this is an option that you should always take a look at.
So Marvin, not on Zoom, your notes are showing.
Oh, sorry.
Just thought I'd let you
How can I switch? Hey, Shad, you show me how to switch that. Just
know.
how? Just give me 1 sec. So what about now?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's good.
So by using the following tips, paying off your loan might be easier. So consider creating a payment schedule, right? So use Excel. It's a really good tool for this type of situation. There are tons and tons of videos online, right? Where they are going to show you how to use the formulas, right? So you need to do your schedule. This will allow you to use some of the financial functions that Excel has, right? So, and also it will give you a target, right? To know every month or every 2 weeks, how much should I pay? If I pay $2 more, if I pay $5 more, how less money am I going to give to the bank or to the person that gave me that money, all right? Paying the minimum plus the amount you can, right? So also by using this Excel, you will be able to know if I pay a little bit more, how much will this affect? It will always affect in a good way your credit. So you just have to really pay more than the minimum. Always, it will hit your final loan in a really good way. So if you're paid bi-weekly, you may decide to make payments every 2 weeks. If you're paid bi-weekly, you can do it. Of course, this is a really good way because every single time you have the money, you have the wish maybe to spend it in something, go to the movies or doing something different. But as soon as you have it, you should try to do the payment. This will really help you. This will really help you to have more discipline, right? All right. Sorry, 1 moment. I'm getting something here in my screen. Okay, so we have the polls. What is the one thing you took away from today about how to manage your debt, right? So this is the poll. So what do you guys think from those options?
when to borrow, difference between good debt and bad debt, knowing how much to borrow, or loan security. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. So we have 80%. Oh, cow. 80% difference between good debt and bad debt. And also where to go. This is really important. This is really important because, like I showed you on the Scratch presentation, it's important to know to know yourself. I mean, if you're a student and you don't yet have the money for an expensive car, well, you should just know, right? So if you have a lot of debt, this is really interesting. If you have a lot of debt, there are two ways: the snowball method or the avalanche one. So the snowball approach. So if, let's say, you have with bank X $50. If you have with the bank Y, $200, and if you have with the bank Z, $1,000. So which one should we pay according to the snowball method? So pay the small one first, because that will give you like, hey, yeah, I'm doing something. So I don't have to deal again with the bank X, which I owe $50, right? So it's good, right? Or the avalanche method, which is the opposite. Try to hit your biggest target, right? The $1,000 bank. That's the one that's taking more money from my pocket. That's the one with the most interest, right? That's the one that I have to hit first. Of course, it's easier to do the small one. You're not going to save a lot of money like in the first one, but I mean, it's on your own decision, right? If you think that just getting away with one and that's a really good goal to go this month or next one, right? Just go for it. Go for the psychological effect that just saving $50 gets, right? But if you really do the math, it will always be better to do the avalanche method. It's really better, but whatever method you want to choose, it will help you a lot. Okay, so the key takeaways. So there are many types of debt. Debt can be good, all right? That can be good. We can also get, like in the video, we can get a house, we can get a car to go to work, and the ways to lower your debt. All right, those are like the three big things we can take out of this. So now this is also important, using credit cards. So what we are going to learn first, the card, right? The terminology, the credit reports, and the scores. So how do credit cards work? So we have another video.
Are you wondering how a credit card works? I'll explain in less time than it takes to put together a puzzle. Where's the lid with the picture on it? I'll explain in less time than it takes to put together a puzzle without the lid with the picture on it. Oh, come on. A credit card is a payment tool that allows you, for example, to buy stuff online. The card issuer gives you a credit limit and you pay it off later. You can also use it as a cash advance. That's a cash withdrawal made from your credit card. It can be really practical in some instances. Interest on cash advances is higher than on purchases, and it starts being calculated as soon as you make a withdrawal. Every month, your bank will send you a statement, including your credit card balance, minimum payment amount, and a due date. From the moment the statement is issued, you have 21 days to pay off your card. If you pay off your card in full by the due date, you won't have to pay any interest on your purchases. However, if you don't pay off the full balance by the due date, the interest will start to accumulate and will be calculated from the date you made your purchase. Calculating interest can kind of be like putting together a puzzle. A puzzle without the lid with the picture on it? But it's not that complicated. The interest rate for the things you put on your card is annual. The rate depends on which card you pick. Interest is calculated based on the amount you still owe. For example, say you owe $100 on your credit card and pay $15. Until you actually pay the $15, interest will be calculated on the full $100. After that, interest will be calculated on the remaining $85 until you pay off the card in full. If you choose not to pay off your card balance in full, the most important thing to do is make sure you pay at least the minimum amount owed by the due date. If you manage your credit well, you'll help build your credit report, which will influence your credit rating. This will come in handy when you're trying to sign the lease on a new apartment or buy a new car. Some cards offer other benefits like cashback, rewards, or purchase protection. See, credit cards can be useful. Oh, there you go. It's a credit card. Are you wondering how a credit card works?
Okay, perfect. So as she said, well, this is a really important tool to use, right? So with these credit cards, most students can get a better credit score, which is the goal here. You have to be really careful. So let's talk about the terminology here. So annual fee. What do we mean by annual fee? So, so I'm getting here. Hi, Christine. Yes. Okay, perfect. Just give me a second. If your credit card charges are annual fee, ask to a lender if they'll be. Holy cow, sorry. I'm having some chat here. Just give me 1 sec. I cannot. Okay, if your credit card charges an annual fee, right? So that means you every single year you have to pay a certain amount to keep that credit card. So call your bank, just call them. You know what? I cannot pay this annual fee. And they, most of the time, they will try to figure out a way to pay less or even just not pay nothing for a credit card. Just don't take at the beginning as a student, don't take a card that will charge you an annual fee or a monthly fee, right? So you should be aware of that. So balance, right? So balance it. So that's really important, right? Your statement will tell you what you owe and when it's due. So don't you ever take more time from that balance due, because that will hit your score, as I told you, right? That will hit you right away. They don't care. They don't have hearts. They just will hit you in the right away. And 30% of your total credit score, it's the due date payments, right? So just never miss that date. So credit limit, that's another thing important. So if you are 20 years old and you just finished your college and you don't even have a full-time position in the moment, so you're just going to get like a $3,000 credit card maybe. But if you've been working for 10 years and you've been improving your credit score, that means you're good as a person that's going, like, it's the score that scores or that credit score will tell the banks that you're good and you're going to pay back. That's what I mean. You're going to pay back. So they can give you a limitless credit card. Some people can get those. Some people that can get those. Of course, it's not common. Let's talk about the black card, Amex. So those type of cards are only by invitation. So they call you and offer you that just because, and you get a limitless credit card. It's crazy, but they exist. But all right, you have to have a perfect credit score and you have to have a lot of money for those. So just be aware that at the beginning, you're not going to have a high credit limit. So finance charges. If you don't pay your bill on time, these charges can include late fees plus interest. You'll likely pay a high rate of interest on any cash you borrow using your card and a lower rate on money you borrow for purchases. Your credit card company treats this as two different kinds of balances. Grace period. This is the time you have to pay off the balance you owe each month before you have to pay interest. Annual percentage rate. This includes all loan services, costs, and interest. It may be higher than the interest rate you see in the loan contract. So, introductory rate. This is a special offer that gives you a temporary lower APR in most cases. The offer lasts about 6 months. It could be 1 year. That's like the first, oh, just come here. We are going to give you the best rates for the first 6 months or the first 3 months. So they offer you the best just to hook you in and get you. And the minimum monthly payment, like I told you, so this is just the minimum you should pay in order to not have a hit in your credit score. Okay, so here in Canada, we have an amazing thing in the Canada website where we can see the rates. We can see the type of credit cards we're going to apply for, if it has cashback, if it has points. So there are a lot of ways of types of credit cards here in Canada. So on the government, you can see all this information and you can compare which one is the best one for you, right? So before selecting the credit card, you should always come here and see. At the beginning, maybe you cannot be really picky. You cannot. You have to be really careful. But with more time and credit score, you will get better deals. Will be able to apply to more and more credit cards. Okay, so we have offers for students. So if you go to a bank and you show your Mohawk ID, they will give you free credit cards. Credit cards without annual or monthly fees. They will give you an unsecured credit card. So it can depend. It depends of the bank, but you can get really good deals if you show your ID as a student. So secured card means that a person that already has credit score goes with you to the bank and signs for you, and you will get part of his experience, and you will be able to have your first credit card. So we have prepaid credit cards. Yeah, those doesn't improve your credit score. So those are just you just go to certain places and you give them $500, and then you spend those $500. Those type of cards doesn't, kind of like a gift card, exactly. And like I just told you, a secure credit card will really help you, because you go with your father or your mother or your brother or sister or a person that's willing to help you to improve your credit score, right? So you just go there and they sign that. I mean, if you don't pay, they are going to be hit. So it's a really tough decision, because if I have a good credit score and if I'm going to trust my brother or my sister or a person that asked me for that, well, it's really hard, right? Because if that person doesn't pay, I will be the person that will be in trouble, right? So this works in a lot of situations. So be aware that this exists. So if you really want to have a good credit score in 6 months or 1 year, just try this and see if it works for you. But like I said, just go to a Canada website or go to your bank and ask for this type of credit cards. So we have another video here.
If you have a large amount of credit card debt and are only making the minimum payment every month, you're not going to pay it off anytime soon. In fact, if you only make minimum payments, it could be decades before you find yourself debt-free again. Say, for example, you have $10,000 in credit card debt, which is represented by the water level in this glass. In order to pay off that $10,000, you'll need to empty that entire glass by returning the money you owe to your credit card company. So every month you pour out a little water by making your minimum payment, which is on average around $142. That payment lowers the total amount you owe to $9,858. That's a little bit lower, but not much. Unfortunately, there are outside influences that can raise that amount, mainly being interest. Interest normally charges you around 17% of your outstanding balance at the end of every month. After 17% interest on your outstanding balance is charged, that brings your new debt amount to $9,999. So after 1 month, you've paid your credit card company $142, but your total debt has only gone down by 1. The next month, if you still only make the same minimum payment of $142, your debt will be down to $9,857. But again, there's that pesky interest sneaking up on you. So after paying 17% interest again, your debt is back up to $9,998. That means after paying your credit card company $284, your total debt has only gone down by $2. After a year of making that same minimum payment every month, you'll have paid your credit card company $1,846, but you'll still owe $9,995. That means it'll take you an entire year just to lower your debt by $5. And a year later, you've only lowered what you owe your credit card company by another $5. Eventually, you'll see that if you took action to lower your debt, the money you're paying the credit card company could go towards things that you'd much rather have, like a used car, or a brand new car, or part of your child's college education, or even grad school. Then, after a quarter century and more than $40,000, your debt will only be $1,578 less. Only after 35 years without a single late or missed payment will you finally start to see some progress when you have a little more than $1,000 left to pay. Then, after 36 years of paying $142 minimum payments and 17% interest every month, you will finally have paid off your entire $10,000 of debt. But in order to pay off that $10,000, you've taken more than 3.5 decades of your life and spent more than 60 grand. Just imagine if you had an extra $61,060. You could have used that for anything from shopping and vacations to paying your mortgage or rent. Or you could just set it aside for retirement. You could even have spent that money on your children or grandchildren, because even if you didn't have them before you got into debt, you could wind up with both of them after 36 years.
It's crazy, right? So, yep, that's the power of the compound interest. So, long-term paying from credit cards, right? So that's why you have to be really, really, really careful, really, really careful, right? So in this chart, we can see that if we pay, that's the Excel I showed you at the beginning. But here we can see if we only pay the minimum for $2,000, it's going to take us 15 years. If we pay just $100 more every single month, you're going to pay it in 2 years. Way much better. So always try to pay more than your minimum, especially with the credit cards. So also, this is really important, the credit card fraud. So people just need a picture of your credit card, and that's it, you're done. They can steal all of your money. But most banks, they just don't have any trouble if you call them and say that you were stolen, your credit card is lost. They will just cancel all of the transactions, right? But they can steal your information, which is going to be the same forever, right? Your name is going to be your name. So that's really important. So you have to be really careful on the websites. Just try to figure out where are you buying stuff. If you're going to buy from Amazon, well, you might not have any troubles. But if you are going to buy from XYZ whatever shop.com, that means it's maybe not a safe place to buy, right? Okay, so we have the key takeaways here. So understand the credit card features, right? Selecting your credit card and minimize paying on credit cards. So if you're going to take one, please take the last one. If you have a credit card, always try to pay 100% of what you own in a month. So how do you do that, Marvin? That people will say. So if you're going to use your credit card to improve your credit score, if you're going to pay for a water bottle of $2 Yeah, you can do it. Just pay it, but as soon as you get the statement, pay it back. You're not going to pay any interest. They are going to see that you're a reliable person and they are going to improve your credit score. But you have to pay it right away. If you don't need it, just don't buy it with your credit card. Yeah, just be careful. If you really do, because it's an emergency or something like that, if you really do, you need to use your credit card for more than 1 month. So be aware that the more you pay, the quicker the less money you lose, right? So be aware of that. So now to the most important, personally for me, I might be wrong, but I believe personally that this is the most important part: credit scores and reports, because here is that will really help you. And you as a young person, if you really work on this from the beginning of your life as an adult, you will be grateful. Like in 5 years, you will be able to do a lot of things. So what is a credit score? How to improve your credit score? Request a free credit score report annually. Those are the points that we are going to learn here. So let's see this. Let's watch.
You asked, how does a credit score work? So I'll explain the basics and the time it takes me to make popcorn. A credit score is just a number, but like a bowl of popcorn, the bigger, the better. Bigger? I'll put more kernels in. The better the score, the less risky it is to lenders. The number ranges from 300 to 900, but a score of 750 and up is good. There's more to it than that, though. Your report takes into consideration your score and other information when determining how much of a risk you are to lenders. Someone's writing a report about us? By report, I mean a document that keeps track of your credit history and relevant personal information. Banks, phone companies, and insurers use this report to determine whether you can make a payment or not. There are many different factors that affect your credit score. For example, how many credit requests you make, your payment history, and whether you pay your bills on time. In fact, paying your bills regularly and before the end of the month is a very good practice to adopt. Now, let's say I have a credit card, and the only purchases I've made are Week of the Zombie, Month of the Zombie, and Lunar Month of the Zombie. To pay off the $60 they cost me, I'll make 2 payments of $20 this month and 1 payment next month, because making the minimum payment on time is crucial. Here's a spooky myth. Requesting a credit report will affect your credit score. False. You can get your credit report at any time without worrying about your credit score. It's a win-win. What did you win? A popcorn machine.
All right, perfect. So, like she was explaining, so this report can be really useful, not only for the banks but for you, and you can request that for free. For us here at Mohawk, well, for me as an international student, it's a little tricky. But when I got my first account here at Scotiabank, this is not paid or something by Scotiabank. It's just that we have it here. They have this free TransUnion credit report. So every month you can have it for free and you don't need to pay anything to no one, and it doesn't hit your score. So especially for me as an international student, it's hard because I came from Colombia. I had a good credit score in Colombia. I have nothing here. I have not at all, no history here. So I had to build it up. In my personal case, I began with a 600, and now I'm in a 722 for this month. I was checking yesterday for this classroom. So for this presentation. So in 9 months, I've got a really fair credit score just in 9 months. What did I do? So first thing I do when I came to Canada was taking a student credit card with the Scotiabank. That's it. They gave me one for $500. I didn't need nothing at all, just my student card and open an account with them, and that's it. Then I got my second credit card with TD Bank. They offered me the same. And then with those 2 credit cards, what I did was if I had to pay whatever, if I'm doing groceries, I pay with my credit card, and then as soon as I got my statement, I just pay right away. Yeah, sometimes it just takes 1 or 2 days, and you can see that on the app, right? So that's the way I improved by 120 points my credit score in just 9 months. So of course, if I keep doing this for 2 or 3 years, I'm sure I'm going to have an 800 plus score, right? It's really important. And now, personally, you don't guys have to know this, but personally, because it's what I live as an international student. Somebody told me, hey, go to BMO because they have really good accounts for Latinos because they are in Montreal. So people that speak French and I don't know, we get along. That's it. That's what they told me. I went there. They spoke Spanish. They helped me a lot. We're going to open an account and we offer you a credit card of $2,500. I went like, wow, really? Yeah, and you have a really good credit score. We're going to give you a line of credit of $9,000. This happened to me a month ago, just because I worked with my credit score, and it's true. It's what happened to me. If you really take care of it, I mean, of course, I'm not going to take those $9,000. At least I need them, but I have them if anything happens, right? It's something good to have. So okay. So it's a numerical expression. So it depends on your late payments and the number of requests you do to a bank, not to Equifax or TransUnion. Oh, my battery is really low. Oh, no. All right. So 35% is going to be your payment history. 10% is the types of trade. So if you have a credit card, but if you have a card loan, and if you have you're paying also your bill for phone or your FIDO or whatever, that's really good to have different types of trade. If you inquire for a new client, they are going to think, this person needs money. So this is not good. This guy needs money, so might be in a hurry, might not pay back. So that's why every single time you inquire or you ask to a bank for a new credit line, it's going to hit. The length of your credit history. Most people say, you know what? I opened this credit card 5 years ago. Well, I'm just going to close it. Don't do it, because if you do it, you're going to lose. Just don't use it, or just use it with $2 and pay right away every 2-3 months, and you're going to have a length of your credit history. It's going to be really good. And the amounts owed also. If you have 2 credit cards, one of $5,000 and the other one with $10,000, don't use all the amount. Just use $500 or $1,000. Just use a small amount, and that will they will see, hey, he has a lot of credit, but he's not using it all, so that means he's responsible. Okay, so ways to improve your credit score: pay bills on time, keep balances low, have a longer credit history, avoid unnecessary credit applications, have a mix of credit types, get a secure credit card. So we can get these reports free every year, and Equifax or TransUnion. Those are the companies here in Canada that help me with that. Like I said, not that nobody's paying me from Scotiabank, but we do have it free. Probably lots of banks have those type of things. You can check it every month. Doesn't hit, doesn't hurt. And if you have that number in mind, you can improve it. What you don't measure, you can't improve it. So if you want to improve something, you have to measure it. Hey, you want to lose a couple pounds because you want to look better? Hey, you have to know how much you weigh. That's it. As simple as that. All right. So micro purchases. So what are those? Hey, you know what? Every single morning I come to Mohawk. I want a Tim's or a Starbucks. I don't know if it's open. Is it open? I don't know. All right. So yeah, I just want a flatty grande, which means big in Spanish. It seems funny to me. Grande, so I don't know. It sounds funny, but it's grande. And yeah, because it has a fancy Spanish name, it costs $15. So yeah, every single time you do those micro purchases, if you pay $15 every day for a Starbucks, if you add up in a month, you're going to, I don't know, if you come 5 times a week, it's going to be $600 at the end of the month, 4 weeks, right? 5 days, 4 weeks, 50, times 50, so 15. So just be careful with those micro purchases. Those don't just bring your own coffee, or just do it once a month, not every single day. Be careful. Only buy what you can afford. All right. If you really want that PS5, just save the money for it. I mean, just don't buy something just because. Just save the money. Be careful, and buy what you can pay in in 1 month. In 1 month, right? Okay. This is a type of promotion that you see. Oh, just come here and just pay this sofa and this amount, and they are going to sell you. That's their job, to get people involved in that. Those are revolving crates. So if you go there, of course, at the beginning you're going to give them $100, but you're at the end of the loan, you're going to pay. If you pay the sofa in cash, you're going to pay $800, right? But at the end, if you rent it and rent to own, right, the sofa, you're going to pay $1,300 just in interest, right? So you have to be careful. So sometimes you see promotions and you go, oh, this is so good, but marketing is made to sell. So you just have to be really careful. Just if you really need something, just save for 2-3 months. Pay down as much as you can. And if you still need to use your credit card, just make sure you use it for the minimum amount of money. And this is the tricky part, the payday. So these guys are the worst. And I didn't know they are legal here in Canada. I learned by studying for this presentation. In Colombia, they're illegal. You can know. So 1% a day for yes, it's crazy. And if you don't pay, it adds and adds and adds. It's crazy. Don't you ever even, I mean, there has to be a lot of better options. Don't you ever go to a payday, because if you're paying interest daily, it's going to be crazy amounts of money that you are going to pay. If you can see in this example, all right, at the end of the year, you're going to pay 442% of interest. So be really careful. Just go to your bank. I mean, if you don't yet have a credit score, just go with your parents or with your friends, or work with your credit score. And when you have a good credit score, you can have a better deal. So if you don't have a credit score, of course, the only person that's going to give you that money, it's a payday, but don't you ever go there. So key takeaways. What is a credit score? So as we learn, it's a number that rates you how good you are, or how responsible you are with money, right? How to improve your credit score? Well, we know those tricks now. We know that we have to pay on time. We have to be really careful on hitting or asking for new credit lines and all of that. And get a free credit report annually. You can go to Equifax or to TransUnion every year, or depends on your bank. A lot of banks offer you every single month credit score reports. So in summary, manage your debt using credit cards and credit score and reports. This is what we just learned today. So manage your debt. There are many different forms and features of debt. Read the contract before borrowing money. There can be good forms of debt, like for school, buying a house, buying a car to get to work, for a business. Those are good. Don't, if somebody's offering you the new cryptocurrency that has the face of Pikachu, careful with that. Just be careful. I mean, it could work. I don't know. Once you can, 10 years ago, I heard of a currency that was new in MIT, and they were buying pixels with that for, I don't know, for 100 of those, and they are Bitcoins now. I read that in an article. Wow, I am not rich because I didn't want. All right. So a couple of potential methods to lower your outstanding debt, like snowball and avalanche. Debt can be good, right? If it's used good, it can be really good. Most companies don't buy stuff with cash. They use the loans because it's better to have the money in their pockets. If they use the loans, they are going to be able to have more and more work to do. They are going to have well, this is another type of that's business, but yeah, they do that. That's another subject. Ways to lower your standing debt. So like I told you, the avalanche and the snowball. Using your credit card, you have to understand your credit card features, everything about them. Selecting a good credit card, the best one you can apply for. Minimize paying on credit cards. So you just gotta be really careful and try to pay always more than the minimum. Credit scores, the most important part for me. Again, I'm saying that. So credit score, what is a credit score? How to improve your credit score, and get a free credit report annually. So next steps, look into student accounts at banks, request a free credit report. If you don't yet have it, just request. If you already have your Scotiabank, like I told you, here in Mohawk, just go to your app and open reports, or there's a lot of ways to see that on the internet. Make a plan to pay off your credit card if you already have a loan. So, okay, I believe that's it for today. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us, and see you in the next opportunity.
So that's interesting that you said that there's good debt, because some examples of good debt would be investing in your education, right? Like getting into debt to get your education is always a good debt, right? So, and owning a house, right? Paying a mortgage is always a good debt because you're going to build equity. So those are the kinds of debts that you kind of have to look at. Bad debt, fancy car, good debt, investing in yourself.
So just for one last time, I don't know, like at the beginning, for those who were at the beginning, we're just going to play this really quick again. So this is the game I did for this presentation. So she's tired of taking the bus. She needs a car. So which one should we choose? She's a student. We know that for a fact. Which one should you choose? It's bad, but it's good because it works. It works, exactly. It works. It's not the bad one. It's just, it works. But she only has $200. She needs a loan. So here he is, Mr. Payday. She's going to do that mistake again. Oh, another victim again. Hello, I'm Mr. Payday. She has a bad name. We learned that. So she's offering a 1% every day until you can give me back the whole loan. So 1%, if we learned, it's going to be 365% annually. That doesn't work at all. All right. So same example, we are going to still choosing the ship card. And now we're going to the back. They are not going to offer us the best rate. They are going to offer us 19% annual fixed rate. If you come back with better credit score, we can offer you a 10%. That means in 6 months or 1 year, she can come back and get a way better rate, right? So this shows everything. I believe it's the daily situation we have. We want a car. I want the PS5. I want a house. So the better your credit score is, the less money you're going to pay. And it's as easy as paying for a bottle of water and just at the other and next day just pay back right away. That's what you should guys try to do.
Do you guys have any-
All right, that's another that's interesting. And personally, I use it a lot in Colombia. I had this Amex gold and platinum. Well, I almost got the platinum, but I can't get it. So I used to travel for free in Colombia. It's the same system here. So so I used to travel. I went to the Caribbean. I paid my tickets with points. So for 2 years, I was just paying everything with my credit card. The next day, when I got my statement, I paid. Most people think that this is not a good thing to do, but I just was buying what I needed. I wasn't buying the latest Chanel jacket or whatever. No, I just was buying my groceries with my credit card and paying them. Anyways, I was going to do it because I needed to do it. So most banks offer points or cashback. In Colombia, it's better points. Here, I believe it could be better cashback sometimes. So every $1,000, they give you, I don't know, 3% back or 2% back or back. It depends on the credit card, it depends on everything. So every single month you're going to have, if it's $1,000, you're going to have $30. So the key point here is, if you are going to spend anyhow, those $1,000, do it with your credit card, pay it right away, and you will get 3% back. That's cash. Totally depends on the. So every month, so from the statement, it's like 21 days. So if you get your statement on the first of the month, you're going to have until the 21st to pay. So that means, okay, let's say my statement came on the first, right? And I bought something on the second. That means this is past history from the first, if you go back, it's past history, right? So from the second, you have to wait to the next first of the month to be reflected on the credit statement. This is going to be next month. So that means you're going to have 1 month plus 21 days. So if you buy something on the second, the day after your statement came, you will have 1 month plus 21 days, almost 2 months to pay that back. So it depends on the bank. It depends on the credit card. It depends on a lot of factors. But a quick call of 2 or 5 minutes, and you can they will always tell you, hey, your grace period is this one because you have this type of credit card, everything. So it's really that's why credit cards for company exist. You see, they have these credit cards for company. You say, why do a company need a credit card? Because they can buy stuff and they can pay them on 60 and 50 days. So they are not going to let's say I'll buy this iPhone or this phone or this mouse for $100 and I have to pay it back in 60 days. So I have 60 days to sell it. If I bought it today, right? And I can sell it tomorrow for $200 or in 50 days for $200, I don't have to pay nothing to the bank. That's a strategy on business.
Plus it increases your credit.
Exactly.
Right, so that's how we try to get people to improve their credit scores by getting credit cards. And by, making sure that what you pay for, you can also, pay it off within the time period. Every time you do that, your credit score improves shocking that even if you go to apply for an apartment, some landlords, potential landlords, will run your credit score. So having it like, Marvin had said, credit scores are very important. So, yeah. So I'm not seeing any, Romeo asked, can I pay my school fees with my credit card? And I'm not sure.
It depends. To be honest, I don't think that's a good idea. It's better to get a personal loan for that because rates on credit cards are really expensive. At least you can pay back in those 60 days we were talking about. Of course, that's the max of days you can get. If not, you just shouldn't.
Yeah.
I've met some people that have done that because they don't have another option.
Right.
But that's not a good idea to be honest.
I'm kind of wondering, the only scenario that I'm thinking that may be a good idea is if you're waiting for your side. Or you're waiting for a chunk of money to come in. And so it's just a temporary thing. Because the interest rates are far too high.
Actually, personally, I did it. Sorry, because somebody, since I will be paying it anyway, I did it. So, us as international students, we pay a lot of fees. My wife, she has a $4,000 credit card because she has a work visa. So they gave her more credit limit. So I used it and I took the cash because anyways I was going to pay. So if you have money and you can pay right away the next day, do it. Go for it, Romeo Fajardo. Yeah. They will let you. They will still let you, but to be honest, I had a really great experience personally with BMO because of what I just guys told me. I didn't have the best of the experiences with Scotiabank because I'm not yet a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen. So in my case, for international students, Romeo and all of those who are listening to Latinos, it's really good BMO in my case. In the Canadian case, I've heard, and this is not like marketing or something, I've heard that for Canadians, so the RBC Bank sometimes helps a lot of students. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Might be the case. You just have to approach them, or just go and don't say nothing about that, because at the end of the day, this report is just a number. Sometimes they are not going to see the details why your credit score is so low. So they will think, oh, she's a student. Might be the case. She's a student. She has a low credit score. We can offer you $200. And even doesn't have to be secure. Could be even worse. So you just have to approach it.
See, one of the problems with virtual that we can't hear your question,
Oh.
which is unfortunate. But they definitely heard the answer. All right. And I can't seem to turn my video on.
People are seeing you, right? Yeah.
You've not started the video because the host is off. I don't know what's happening.
All right, any more questions you guys have or here in the chat? No, I don't.
So you need to repeat the question.
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Oh, sorry. You know how you said you figured out
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you also have to
All right, I understand. He's asking if you have an annual or a monthly fee, do you have to pay that fee also with your statement? No.
Oh,
Every time you use your card, no. Every month, if the fee is annual, you have to pay just once a year.
my understanding though is that there are some merchants who are now passing on a fee to people
Oh,
using
yeah.
credit.
Yeah.
So some will do that because the credit card companies are
Charges.
actually charging them to allow use of credit cards. Like, so for example, my new other dog. So when I go and take my dog to the groomer, she tells me, if you pay e-transfer, I won't charge you a fee. But if you
Credit
use your Visa, I'm gonna charge you a fee for using the Visa. So you have to ask the merchant or where you're purchasing, do you charge a fee if I use my credit card? And that's gonna be hit or miss. That's really up to the merchant. Yeah, but that's hit the news a
Yeah.
lot lately, so.
If it's annual, if it's specifically about the fees, if it's annual, you just pay it once a year. If it's monthly, you just pay once every statement, not once every one you tap your card. It's once every month. No. As far as I know, no. Yes. Maybe that, okay, no, those are not even debit accounts, they are saving. So if you hit more than 2 or 5 times a month, they charge, but those are savings. So you just have to pass money through from your savings to your checkings. And then you can see how many times how many times you want. I don't know, like, yeah.
Okay,
No,
yeah, thank you. We have another presentation on the 9th of November, and it's how to pay for school. So it's gonna be in this room, or you can join us virtually. So it's the 9th, which is a Wednesday, starts at 12:30. If you go to our website, the Momentum Financial Assistance webpage, there's links on those web pages. And the more sessions you attend, the more, and you register, the more you're able to win gift cards and stuff like that. So, yeah. Oh, no,
Don't
it's
worry.
okay, no worries. So I'm not sure if Chad can pop in or if there's no other chat. There he is. There's no other, I don't think there's any other chats. Not sure if there's any other questions from our online participants. Not even sure if anybody can do.
There was one question in the Q&A that I kind of answered in the chat earlier. They were just all saying basically, students can get different types of credit cards with different benefits from different banks. Is there value, or do you recommend getting different cards from different banks? So like if you were going to get 3% cash back on groceries from one bank and then maybe 1% cash back on other payments through another bank, is there benefit in that? Is that a bad idea? How's that work?
Okay. Do you want me to answer that? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Shotgun or
Yeah,
what?
I can. My recommendation would be just pay attention to what you are capable of paying. There's no problem with having multiple credit cards if you use those credit cards responsibly. It's what it all comes back down to. The risk of having multiple credit cards is that you forget about one of them, or you now have more money available, so you spend more money, right? As long as you use your different cards and you use things appropriately, like you have one card or a card with a low limit, just use that credit responsibly, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. That extra credit available to you can actually help your score within reason, because that can help keep your overall utilization lower by increasing the total credit available to you. If you start looking at a couple of $5,000 credit cards, then that's potentially too much credit, especially for a student. You just have to make sure that you're paying attention to how much money you have available and what you can reasonably pay back. Just don't overextend yourself.
Okay, so you guys have any other questions? No? All right, well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everyone in the Zoom
Enjoy your day.
meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jeff.
Great job, Marvin.